Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important example for template driven form, where we will be seeing how to apply styling on forms on the basis of state ng-touched and ng-untouched. So by the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is ng-touched class, what is ng-untouched class, how we can apply it to the forms, and what would be the impact when we apply the things on input field. Okay, and we will do it in a very similar way. Like firstly, I'll explain you the requirement. According to the requirement, we will write the form and design the form, and then later on we will verify the output on browser. But before we get started, I just want to let you know that it would be really very good if you can refer the session in a sequential way. Why? Because these all things are in a proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be really very beneficial for you to it will help you to understand the concept in a better way. And for the sequential content, like, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. So there you can find more than 3000 plus resources, which is freely available and available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your requirement, you can walk through it. Okay, all right, so now let's move to the session part. And here you can see, firstly I have noted down one heading. Currently I'm in app.component.html file, where we have one heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit. Now after this heading, we have another heading that shows topic name. So today's session is mainly related to the template driven form example in Angular for styling forms based on state, ng-touched and ng-untouched. Okay, so these are the two headings that we will show on the browser. Now after this, what we will do, we will create one form. Now to separate out that form with the headings portion, what we will do, we will add two horizontal rows here, and in between these two horizontal rows we will define our entire form. But the thing is that you can see we are going to create a form, and to create the form we need ng form, right? So to use ng form, firstly we should import the forms module. How and where? We will simply go to app.component.ts file from here, or it is already opened here. Now in this import section, you have to write forms module. Okay, and then just simply press enter. So once you press enter, it will add this forms module in line number 2. Okay, so once your forms module is added in this line number 2, then you are good to use the ng form wherever you want to use it in HTML. Okay, fine. So this was the prerequisite which we imported successfully, and always make sure that whenever you are writing it here, it should be imported here also, otherwise it won't work. Okay, now after this, what we will do, we will define the form. So just simply go and write here form, the name of the form, that is hash my form, which is nothing but a template reference variable. Then we will write here ng form. After this, what we will do, we will create one label field here. And okay, but before, let's talk about what is touched and what is untouched, in which case class ng-untouched will be applied, and in which case ng-touched will be applied. So basically ng-untouched is a state, is a class, and it will applied when input never focused. So we have one input field and user never focused that input field, then in that case we can say that ng-untouched class will be invoked. Okay, so whatever logic or CSS you have applied in ng-untouched class will be applied to that input field. On the other hand, when we are talking about ng-touched, so when user focused and left the input, then in that case we will consider it as a ng-touched, and whatever CSS we have written inside the ng-touched class will be applied to the input field. Okay, so I think now definition wise we are good. We got the actual requirement. Now it's time to implement it. So to implement it, firstly we will create one input field. Although in form we can create multiple fields, but I just want to make this example as easy as possible. So that is why, like, I'm using the same input field, one single input field, that is username. And for that, let's firstly add label. So this is the label. In label we will write here name. Okay, After this we will simply add one input field, and in input field we will define all the required things like type and other things. Okay, so let's one by one define the things. First is type. So we are sure that we are going to accept text only, so just write text here. Then we will assign some name to it. In this case I will assign it a name as username. Then we will write here ng-model. Okay, and we can also put some validation, although it is not required for this example, but let's keep it as a basic form. So I just added this required. After required, we can add minimum length, that it should be of minimum 3 characters, and after that we will assign the template reference variable to user control. So how we will do that? We will simply write here hash username ctrl. Okay, then we will write here ng-model. Perfect. So this input field is ready. Now when you press control, when you save the code, it will automatically align this. This is just a feature of editor, so it will I'm using this prettier tool, so that is why like it is aligning it properly. Fine. Now after this input field, although like we will not process the data on the backend through button, but let's add at least button here. So let's add the button, and it's just a simple button, so we will write like this. Inside this we will write button, and that's it. So we are ready with our application. It's a very small application, but it will tell you the exact process how ng-touched or untouched is working. Although we haven't applied any CSS yet, right? You can see CSS is blank. So firstly I'll show you the things without CSS, and then we will see the impact of CSS classes. Okay, so let's verify the output first. So for that we will write here ng serve -- open, enter. Just wait for a few seconds and then it will show you the output in the browser screen. So from there like we will verify the things. So you can see here, firstly we have one main heading, that is Angular course by Sharmit. Then we have second heading, that is template driven form example in Angular, styling form based on state, ng-touched and ng-untouched. Then we have one horizontal row, one label and input field and button, and another horizontal row just to separate out the things. Now here if I touch and untouch, like currently it is an untouched state, but we are not able to see it, right? Similarly if I touch it and just came out of it, still it is not showing anything, right? Now to implement the impact, like to apply the CSS classes, what we will do, we will go to app.component.css file, and in the CSS file we will define the things like this. So firstly I will write here input.ng-touched, okay, and then curly braces open close. Then we will write here background color, and in background color whatever color you want to apply, let's say aqua. Okay, then maybe if you want border also, so just apply border here, let's say 2 pixel solid red, and that's it. So this is ready. Okay, now see the magic. When I refresh the browser, the moment when you click on this input field, currently it is an untouched state, right? That is why it is not showing any error CSS here. But the moment when you click here, it is untouched. Now if you came out of this, it will show a thin border of 2 pixel of red color, and a background is also changed to aqua. So this is how ng-touched work. Now did you notice like it is not working well for the ng-untouched? Why? Because we haven't applied it yet. So let's apply for a ng-untouched as well. So ng-untouched, it should be in a proper format, otherwise it will not work. So we will write here ng-untouched, curly braces, then we will write here background color. And these are just the sample CSS. Okay, you can apply any CSS which you want to apply here. This is just an example. Okay, and here let's say I want to take a brown color and border of 2 pixel solid blue. Maybe it is up to you like which color you want to use, but I am just taking it as example and save it. Perfect. But I think we put again touched, so it should be untouched. Fine. Now it's okay. So you can see the when we refresh the browser, initially itself it is coming with a brown border, brown background color and blue border. Why? Because currently it is an untouched state. But the moment when you touch it and keep outside of this box, you can see, keep the cursor outside of this box, it will show the color is changed. Okay, so I think now it is clear how untouched and touched works in HTML template driven forms, and we learned the process of applying the styling on the basis of state, ng-touched and ng-untouched. So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topic. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.